I found for myself as and this is before I was qualified pastor, but as a Christian, I would get very wrapped up in the, as you said, in that Holy Bible kind of thing. I mean, I was in leadership with kids and all these things, and we would get wrapped up in that, and I mean, it's very easy, very quick. But if you're seeing other people at work, and I mean, because it doesn't have to be the people you work with, it's clients, it's whatever, that balances that whole situation out, I think,
Okay, and we're live.
Hey, my white legs are going to be
I've got such a nice shady spot. You want to swap?
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm like, literally, there's like no sun.
I'm okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, lekker.
We've got a new pet with us.
What's happening, everyone? Yeah, new little Fluffy.
What's that thing? It's so fluffy, I could die.
It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
That's
so
it.
cute. Lekker. Yeah.
Yeah. We're missing a component, so we're here to change our recording system. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So, and as you guys can see, we've got a different venue going.
What?
We are.
This is different.
Didn't you realise?
Oh.
Oh, it's quite different, huh? You might hear some chainsaws in the background. There's some clearing going on that side of the forest.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't think you can. But
we can hear it.
We can vaguely hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
Lekker.
It's quite soothing.
It's very nice. Yeah. I actually, we got here, and I realised that I had forgotten the microphone for the Fluffy, and I had to go back, and I left Brandon here in the forest. When I came back, he was fast asleep, drooling all over himself.
Not quite, but almost.
But yeah, it's so relaxing here
it's so nice.
In the forest, yeah.
In the forest, listening to the birds, the
wind going through the trees,
going through the pine trees,
and we saw some buck.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, when I went to go get the recorder there by that little hut, whatever, I saw another buck just like chilling right there. Yeah.
I was thinking when you were gone, I was thinking, mate, I wonder if now that the bucky goes, then I'm sitting here the next minute, the one will just walk in here maybe because.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I'm quiet.
I mean, so oftentimes there's a road going like right here. So,
So,
or not a big road, just like a dirt road.
Yeah. Not a highway.
No, there's a road going here, and there's so many tracks on it.
It's ridiculous.
So I'm pretty sure if you come put up, I mean, you don't even have to put up a tree stand. You can just come sit here. Yeah.
Shade. As long as the wind's blowing the right direction, should be fine.
We'll definitely pop around. Maybe we should do that one at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've walked through here once before, and how many we saw? How many? I don't know. How many? 6 or something.
I did a count the one time, and I counted 14.
Sure.
So. In total that I saw, and I mean there's lots of area that I didn't cover.
Yes.
So there's a possibility that
there's more.
There's more. So
and there's some big taker and whatever out here. The one we saw on the other side was huge.
Yeah, it's quite decent. Yeah,
it was huge.
Yeah, very, very cool. It's nice to have them around. So
yeah, don't worry, we're not shooting those ones.
Yeah, no. These are all specifically for pretty.
Yeah, they're friendly. They're friendlies.
Yeah.
Their cousins on the other farm.
Yeah,
they're dinner.
They are terrorists. We need to take care of them. They're eating all the grass for the vegans. Oh no, I'm just joking, guys.
Well, I mean,
I'm just joking.
Technically, I guess.
Yeah, they don't, I don't know. They'll say they don't eat grass, but they lie. I'm just joking.
Unpopular opinion again.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion. Vegans don't eat grass.
Now we get into some of these topics about stuff.
Anyway, let's say how's your week been?
My week has been good. It's my first week of holiday.
Okay.
Did some admin in the beginning of the week, but generally holiday week. So well, it's just crazy though. I mean, it's Friday already, and I feel like I waited so desperately for this holidays to start.
Yeah.
And the first week's gone. I know there's still many weeks.
Yeah.
But the first week's gone already, and I don't even realize I was on a holiday.
Yeah. It was still.
I got into my
almost
Christmas.
Worked flat out. Yeah.
Yeah, like into my Christmas present making mode and whatever, just to knock out the first, let's say, 70% of the job.
Yeah.
It's probably actually a 60%.
This thing is recording, huh?
Yes, it is recording.
Sorry, I'm just checking.
Unless you put it off now.
No, I didn't. No.
And so I did that. I've got yellow paint. There's yellow paint here.
Nice.
I've got yellow paint on my hands, on this hand,
on
my arm.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it's been good though. It's nice to work with your hands, cutting,
also,
sanding, whatever.
I think getting the presents and stuff done in the beginning so that you can rest knowing that you have presents for everyone. Stuff.
Also like getting the like the horrible side of the like sanding and cutting and whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Now I'm down to painting, which is really not my favorite as well actually, but like the finicky stuff of putting on stuff and finishing up, that's coming up.
Yeah, it's quite. You can
hopefully
put on
next week, you know, and it's nice because that's the nice stuff. Actually, you start to see this what it's supposed to be, you know. Not just a shelf or just a piece of wood, you know.
Also, it's the quiet part of the job, so you can put on a podcast.
Yeah.
And just
and
listen.
just go for it.
Yeah, listen and get sidetracked and enjoy. Just lose yourself in the process, you know.
Exactly.
Or find yourself.
I lost myself in sanding this week, definitely.
Okay.
It was.
But the problem with that is it's so loud. Like even with me,
you can't. Yeah.
So I mean, like even with earphones, and I've got those earphones that you like weld into your brain through your ear.
You pull through from one end to the other side.
Exactly. Yeah. So they kind of work because they're a little bit noise reducing.
No, I can't. I mean, I used 3 different types of sanders. Well, I used a grinder with a sanding disc, and then a belt sander, and then a orbital sander. So different levels. So the grinder comes in, takes like the most of the dirt off, kind of thing, and then the belt sander goes in and like smooths it out. Not smooth, but like cuts it all even and whatnot. Not cut, but you know what I mean. Sands it all even, and then the little orbital just to like polish it up or to places I can't get in the other. And there's just no ways. I can listen to anything. I mean, I tried before listening to music. It just doesn't work. It's just so loud. But I got that. I got a new watch. Look, we match.
Nice.
Sort of.
Very cool. I've got a green one.
You got a green one.
Yeah, I like the green one.
Yeah, I only had black. I like the black though.
Yeah, the black is very nice.
I must just get a glass for it now.
Yeah, get a little screen protector. My screen protector is
finished.
Well, I'm glad it's the protector and not the actual screen.
That is true.
Because I mean to replace it, I don't know how much it costs or whatever.
On the screen protector.
No, the screen protector is like $150.
Yeah.
And it's worth getting. I don't know how much the screen is.
Totally.
To get. I don't know. Maybe you go to one of the local.
I don't know if they'll do
Eastern Bloc. I don't know how do I
politically correct
say the buckies. You go to the bucky shop, okay?
If you want to shoot anyone, shoot him. Don't shoot me. I just agreed with him. That's all.
Yeah, cool.
So that was my week.
Anything else?
Played golf. Which was lekker.
For the first time in a while,
Yeah, like 6 months.
Oh, nice.
So it was worse than I did worse than I used to do, but not horrendously bad. So. And also changed up I didn't use a driver. I used a 5-wood because I broke my driver moss, and my brother didn't have his driver, so a whole bunch of stuff. But I didn't do too badly for someone who hasn't played in such a long time.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's proper.
And yourself? How was your week?
Yes, bro.
You've been chaos.
Wild chaos, from chaos to chaos. But we're like kind of chilled. Not really. Well, we're not as chaotic right now, but it's still chaos.
It's still busy.
I mean, it's the busiest time of the year with weddings for Amy.
Yeah.
I'm her assistant, so she's busy editing right now. We were gonna have another wedding now on
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Luckily, not yours.
Luckily they postponed. But then we have one on Wednesday, next week Saturday, and next week Wednesday again, and then on the 27th and possibly on the 29th. So there's a lot of weddings, and that's a 12-hour day that you set aside and get ready and stuff, and then it's another at least 24 to 36 hours of editing.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, and you can't just edit all in one shot 3 days.
No.
Because you kind of lose your creativity. You got to be creative. So it takes at least I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks to pump out a video that's of good quality.
Yes.
And even that is super quick. Most people have a 12-week waiting list. After your wedding, so and then that's with the weddings. The other thing with the candles, damn son, you guys have been amazing ordering and stuff. So thank you. We've made a lot of orders. We've made a lot of candles, and we are currently at the Christmas show, which you guys are watching. The one we spoke last week about. I don't know if this one will be released consecutively, but the one when we were having the Christmas show was released on the Christmas show. Anyway, so confusing. Yeah,
I believe you.
Just trust me, it's fine. So no, our week has been pretty insane, but it's in a good way.
But it's good. Business is good.
Yeah, it's good. It's really a good problem to have. And I mean, all of this, there's certain things that we can test that we would have never known unless if we were this busy. So now we can. Okay, how do we streamline it? How do we do this? So we're learning a lot of lessons. We're finding out where the bottlenecks are and stuff like that. And we're figuring it out. So
and also, it sounds funny what almost what you would be short.
Yes, exactly.
Like equipment you might need to mass produce. Yeah, not that you would mass produce, but make large quantities of stuff.
100%. Or maybe some pre-planning, because I think definitely for December next year, I would start making stock kind of in like September, October already, so that by the time we get here, the main process is, or at least the bottleneck.
Well, at least that you got a chunk of good quality stuff that you've got pre-made, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That can go out on orders. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things you never know. I mean, I made a mistake, and I can talk about it because it's one of those things. Not all my Christmas presents were surprises. But my brother got him a shelf to put his ornaments on, but it's actually a bookshelf, so it's a standing bookshelf. So I looked at it and went, it's got these silly little wooden feet, not wooden feet, but like pieces of wood on that little feet.
Oh.
Don't need that, it's going to hang on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to hang it. So I knocked it off, and then these massive bolts, like 5 bolts or whatever, that's about that big.
Yeah.
Sticking out the bottom. I'm like, doesn't make sense. Why'd they put the feet on with that like that?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I took the grind out, cut them off. The whole shelf comes apart.
Oh,
Is what they'd done. And then I spoke to my dad about this, and he said he's never ever. I mean, he's been a carpenter for years and years. He's never heard of this.
Yeah.
They drilled right through the boards that go across your actual shelves, through the uprights, which are it's a piece of wood, the same as the shelf. They drilled through that all the way, and there's a rod in there with these nuts on the bottom, or these bolts on the bottom, and the little thing on the top. That hole was holding the whole thing together. I didn't know that. I mean, I had no idea. I just knocked it off and then cut it off, and kind of thing. And that then creates a whole chaos because now the thing's not stable. And I've put it back together. It's together, but I actually need to do some thing to make it a bit more stable, which I haven't figured out yet. Started painting it anyway, but we'll figure that out later.
100%.
And again, I also I sanded something down that was oiled. Now, I didn't go right down to the raw wood. But I mean, I went far, way off the oil. I mean, it wrecked. So I can't tell you how many sanding belts it did, putting that oil and whatever out. When I painted the base coat on, the oil starts to come through.
Yeah.
Because you don't know that stuff until you actually get in there and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I know now, next time because this is all stuff that I bought that was already pre-made, bought a second-hand place and I'm redoing. I now know, wait a minute, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it differently next time. When I buy from 100%. Someone, I'm going to put paint strip on it first or something and let it do most of the work or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something just to streamline that whole process again. It took me like a whole day of just sorting out those 2 items, and they're not even properly sorted out yet.
100%.
This morning when I went and painted some other stuff, I can't even left them. I didn't even touch them today. I was like, you know what? Today's not the day for that because it will just drive me crazy, and then I get irritated because the arm wasn't streamlined in that. So it's good problem to have, but it's how you learn.
Something I want to talk about maybe today. As you might see in the thumbnail. But like,
hopefully,
because you talk about carpentry and working with wood and stuff like that, that's obviously something that Jesus did.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah, good carpenter man over here, financially stable.
Oh, here we go again. Cut it out.
Okay. Enough for today. Yeah. Next time.
Or like, you know what I see when you say that? I see those like adverts, I don't know, this is 1990s, early 2000s adverts, when it would come up and then it'd be like an 0800 number, call now.
Maybe I'll put your number on the screen.
No.
Okay, no, I'm just joking.
My Facebook link, no.
Yeah, so Jesus was obviously, he was a carpenter his whole life.
Well done.
Well, most of his life. He was born and raised by his, not biological father, but like whatever his father, Joseph, who was a carpenter. And it's so, for me, it's almost so real. It makes the whole situation so real. Or it's just one of those things, because so many times I think people get caught up in like, what is my calling, what is this, whatever. And I think that mindset, that idea that you have a calling where you just do spiritual things, and so it's over spiritualized.
Yeah, what you're saying is they get caught up in like that whatever that calling is what they must do.
Yeah, so it's like if they are an intercessor, they are just going to be at the church and they're going to have no life and they're going to leave their family and they're just going to be praying whatever. And I'm not saying that that's not the case. Like, I mean, I'm sure you find those people that pray all the time.
Sure.
But I'm like, could it be, in your opinion, that you get people who have what seem to be normal lives, and then they go out into the world with these major callings, but they look like they're just doing something like carpentry, like Jesus.
100%.
So
100% can be. I think it might even be, and it's a bit of a controversial thought pattern that I've had this for many years now, but it's almost better if you're out in the world, because I think if we just in the church, we get stuck in that holy place, and that's not only pastors or it can be anyone. If you end up, and I've ended up like this before, previously years ago, where I'm at church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday's probably the only day I'm not at church, and that's evening stuff, afternoon this or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't see the rest of the world, the real world, the out there world. I don't see and there is a space for people like that, because you need to run the church. There are people who need to be there all the time doing that for sure. But you also can lose track. And when there was about 2 years or so where I wasn't fully committed to a church. I have told you guys this before. And I was working at a recording studio and whatnot, teaching drums there and the music school side of it. And I met quite a few people who are Christians, but they're not as on the same path, if that makes sense, or not as committed. And I love all of you guys. If you guys are watching, I hope you are. If you are, I love you guys. You know I do. But it was eye-opening for me, and it was so nice for me, because I was completely refreshed with the world, if that makes sense. And not refreshed in terms of like I like what the world's saying or doing. No, but what I mean is refreshed and reminded that there are people out there that don't just think the way we do.
Jesus was very much a part of life.
Normal life.
He wasn't this weird guy. We don't believe in germs, we don't believe in money systems or banks. Like he was just
100%. I mean,
he used the system, and he fulfilled God's calling.
Spoiler alert here for those who watch The Chosen, and if you haven't watched Chosen, go and watch it. Find it. It's an app, guys. It's brilliant. It's free. It's really brilliant. Good. They're releasing new. I think I haven't got the date exactly, but they're releasing new stuff now around Christmas as well, which is quite awesome. I'm very, very excited. It's only on your phone or your tablet, or your smart TV, I guess. We'll have it. It is on YouTube, but it's a bit difficult to watch on YouTube because they have a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Anyway, I digress. The point is that there's a scene where it opens up on Jesus helping a guy with his cart. Jesus literally lying underneath the cart, fixing the wheel and the whatever, because obviously it's wooden, doing carpentry, And that, is a reminder that he was a man, a normal man. He had a job. He did his thing.
There's a saying that I heard someone mention. He said that the Bible warns us of wolves in sheep's clothing, but why can't we be sheep in wolves' clothing? So just like you can almost seem like you're a businessman. You're this just someone who's successful. You live on a golf estate, or you play golf, or you do whatever. You're a hunter. You do all these normal things. Which seemingly looks like just normal, but in those environments, I mean, we do it with the hunting all the time, where you get the opportunity to share with people, because when you walk around 30 kilometers a day, and then at night time you get to the fire, you're quite tired.
You don't walk anywhere, you just sit there.
You're quite tired, and when you're tired, and when you're in that calm, safe environment, oftentimes guys will start to open up and talk this and I hear you're from the church, what do you think of this, whatever, and you actually have an opportunity to sow seed into their life. And I think it's a real important thing to be to be kind of normal.
I was going to say, I encourage people to try and find something that's like that. Try and find something where you are in a position where you can you're not over spiritualized at all in the activity that you're doing, whether it's a sports club, whether it's hunting, shooting, whatever it might be, but you are still who you are. So you still, I still am who I am. I still go to church. I still know that I'm still not going to be doing the things that I wouldn't have done. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be, swearing or whatever, for example. Let's use that as an example.
You have to be a good example,
Exactly. And then people will see the difference, and that's, I think, where it is. I think the difference isn't seen in church. Because when you go to church, you expect to see the pastor, the worship team, you know what I mean? You see, that's where you wouldn't expect to hear swearing, because that's not what happens there. But the same thing should be when you stub your toe, or when you playing hockey and you get hit in the shin, you don't swear. That's where that example comes, and then they start to go, okay, why? Why is this person doing this? Why? You know, why are they okay with that? Why, we go hunting when there's not alcohol flowing freely, and we're not, passing out under the fire, next to the fire kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they go, why? But you're still such a lack of oak.
Yeah.
And we have an example on I'll kind of, let me put it this way. So we have some people at our church that are using the property, and they're non-church people, well, not churched in the last couple of years. Anyway, they came and they're using they approached the leadership, and the point is that they're using the property for something. And being in the property, they have got to know us or whatever, and it's so nice. I mean, the gentleman said to me, I don't know how many times, like, but you're so normal, like you guys are actually so cool. It's like meaning you guys are so. And I think people forget that. People think that because church can get over spiritualized, or Christians can get very judgmental or very liberal, I suppose, either way kind of thing. They lose track of who we are. They lose track of people. They don't buy into that. That makes sense. They don't buy into who we really are. They forget that we are normal people who just love Jesus and choose to do the right thing. I think, well, we try our best to put it that way. And I mean, people haven't. I'm not telling you the story like where they're in church now, their leadership. No, they're still doing their thing. They're still in their place, but they've realized that we are actually nice, genuine people. Generally,
I think oftentimes when people find their identity in what they're doing, that becomes a negative thing. So if you are you're not Brandon, son of God, you are Brandon, the church drummer, and the youth pastor at the church. So you are the youth pastor, and that is what you do, and that is your life, and that is what. And woe to anyone who tries to take that away, or does take that away. Like your whole life falls apart because your whole identity is in it. And I think in that aspect, it's still kind of it's still semi-normal. But now you get someone who is called to pray, or is called to, like, I don't know, something that's a little. It's very. It's on the surface, it comes across more spiritual,
and
then they find their identity in that spirituality.
Yes.
And that, for me, I don't know. It just causes. You need to come down to earth. It's good to float in the clouds, but the people are in the valley.
I like it. That's a nice. We often say you're so spiritual, or so.
So spiritually minded, no earthly good.
Yeah, so exactly. You're so spiritually minded, you're no earthly good whatsoever. You don't relate to anybody. You don't. You only relate to the other people who are in the prayer group or the worship team or whatever. And that's not. And
the problem with that is, like, oftentimes, and I've like experienced this to some extent, where you would get 4 or 5 guys who very much are on the same page as you.
Yes.
And you guys grow together, and you get this sense of, like, well, we're really moving into the clouds now,
Yeah.
And then you have this false sense that everyone else is left behind, and then you don't include anyone in your circle, and then it just becomes an echo chamber. Anything and everything just sounds the same. Everyone just confirms what you're feeling, whatever. And it's so quick that whole thing becomes sour and everything, and then you become the funny grace group, or you become the funny prayer group, or you become the funny, and people don't want to even touch it with a stick because it's like,
and then
the vibe about it is wrong.
Exactly. Then you've missed the boat completely, because what is the boat? What are we called to? What did Jesus say to the disciples? Go out and make disciples of all the people in the world.
100%. You
can't be doing that if you're stuck in your little holy huddle. And I mean, it doesn't have to be prayer. It can be worship team. It can be anything.
We call it a bless me club.
I'm all for. Like, for example, I don't necessarily feel called to play drums in a band. Drums, I fell in love with it in church, and I've been playing for 20-something years, and I'm blessed in that space. It doesn't mean if you want me to play with you in your gig, I won't. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't necessarily go. I'm not searching for a band to play in. I'm not searching for a secular world thing. But I'm also not against playing secular music at all. Like, I mean, I love. In my car, there's the fact that this season I've got this obsession with Pitbull. Summertime. I just feel like Pitbull's music is summer vibes.
It's like
summertime. It's like summer holidays vibe, And then I've got Jack Johnson going, and I've got John Mayer, and I've got Paramore, and I've got right across the board, I love listening to the radio. Not so much when they talk all the time and they don't play songs. But that doesn't mean I don't, like, when I'm on stage, when I'm playing drums, it's there for the glory of God. That's what it's for. That's why I do it. But there's that balance that you've got to have in life, And I think, we go back to Jesus doing anything of Paul as well. Paul was a tent maker, for those who don't know. He would. So not only would he do it to fund himself, his ministry, which is a brilliant thing, you know.
He wasn't dependent on anyone, because and I think in Philippians, I stand under correction, it might be in Galatians, but I think he still mentions to them that the parents should not be a burden to the children. That's why he, almost being like their spiritual father, in the sense that he brought the gospel to them, and he's teaching them the things of God. Why should he become a burden to them?
Correct.
He should look after himself and them, if that needs to be the case. So he was a tent maker, and he financially supported himself.
Exactly. And I mean, you think about it, you know, their goal wasn't to buy a new house and a car and whatever. The things that we obviously need those things. His goal was to provide for his ministry, which was great. So if you can do that, fantastic. You know, I think when you do that, it puts you in a place where you are connected with both people of the world. So you're connecting, you're bringing in new people, you're meeting new people, you have an opportunity to engage with people who are at a different place, you know. But you're also able to do what God's called you to do, you know.
100%.
I don't think we could do what God's called us to do if we were just stuck in church, because yes, churches where broken people should be, 100%, like hospitals where the sick people should go. But often we find we don't have that. We have people coming to church who've been in church for 20 years.
You know,
there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, please.
The sheep need to be looked after,
100%. But there's also a place where those sick people out there are not getting healed, and they're not getting help. They're not getting, because we're not doing that.
When you sit in a church of like 1,000 or 2,000 people in a service, and they're like, who are the new people, and maybe like 10 people put up their hands. It just shows that the people on the outside don't. Why would they come to church? Because like the idea of church and the persona, they don't know the people. They've got this preconceived idea, which is plan of the devil, I suppose, to judge and have what do they call it? Not precedence, what's the word?
Like a
prejudice.
They
have a prejudice about the church.
Yeah.
But if they can meet you, so if you go to a hunting trip and there's some guy who's heavy skeptical about the church, and he sees like, oh wait, this guy, he goes to church, but he's actually quite lekker, you know. Like I like chilling with him, and he's got his head right on his shoulders, good family man, and he's not this wacky, you know, people.
And just to side note or note on this, we're not at all saying that like what the world is doing is okay. Not at all.
No.
We're talking about the exact opposite.
100%.
You've got to be that person who's not drinking, swearing, sleeping around, doing those things. You're not having affairs. You love your wife. You look after your family. You provide for them, but still be in church.
There's a verse that's not just the verse, but the whole precedent or the whole idea of Jesus or God creating us and sending Jesus is so that we can be a light in the world. We can be a light on a hill shining to the world.
So, Spotlight's verse is Matthew 5:16.
Yes.
Therefore let your light shine. And that's my whole thing. The kids must be in school. And let them, I'm so like, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go for it.
We have now obviously ended youth for the year, and we ended on I think 20 something, maybe 30 grade 7s. Was our grade 7 group. It's our biggest chunk of youth is grade 7s. They're all grade 8 this next year. And we're excited for two things. One, they're going to be a bit more humble because they'll be back at the bottom. Love you guys.
Of the food chain.
But what is also amazing is they're splitting into, it sounds like they're splitting into about 3 different schools.
Okay.
So if we have 30 already, the possibility of these guys bringing 30 from their school each, we're going to 90 just grade 8. You know, Lord, that's what we're asking for, 100%. But that's exactly it. You know, let your light shine. Go into your new school now and let your light shine.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll carry on.
Perfect.
Okay, and we're back.
We're back.
Cool. It's my turn to hold the fluffy. But 100%. Like you should be a light. Like here's the thing. I feel sometimes Christians are like lights gathering together. So let's use the analogy of a fire. Burning logs coming together burn brighter.
Right.
But if you just stay like that, you'll burn out and you wouldn't have made a big difference.
But you'll only burn that one spot, as well.
Yeah, you'll burn that one spot. You're not going to make such a big light. You know, you need to now, once you're on fire, go out, set a whole bunch of other fires on alight, come back and rejuvenate, fire up again and go and feed those fires or whatever. And
totally
you know, if I can say it like that, and you need to, you need both. It's like balance. I think you said it, Nana. You need to find balance. You can't just be in church spending people that are like-minded than you, or you can't just be in the world, because Paul also says that basically show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You hang out with bad people, your good habits are going to get corrupted.
I think 100%. I agree 100% with that. Okay, I don't know why I did this.
Okay.
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
But what I want to add to that is that I feel like I need to be the good influence in that group. You know 100%. What I mean? I want to show them their friends, which is me.
Yes.
And that's their future.
But that's why
that's the light that I'm supposed to be.
So you don't hang out with me to become like me. You hang out with me to show me the light.
Yeah.
You want to.
You need the light.
Yeah.
I mean what?
So let's say we've got friends who they just drink way too much and they just party and do the whole thing, whatever. You're not friends with them so that you can also on the side have a couple of drinks and no one's going to judge you.
That's not the balance you're talking about.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about going in there and being a light. Like people being like, dude, why are you so boring? Why don't you drink? And I'm like, no, I don't have to drink. And you are still the life of the party.
I was about to say, let me tell you something. My family we don't drink a lot, and we don't. So.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. You invite us to your wedding or your whatever. Yeah. There's a party.
It's going to be a joy. Exactly.
I mean, you're at my sister's wedding. Like,
no, that was
2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to go to bed. Like, please, guys, come on.
Bonfire.
And it's not alcohol.
Crazy,
it's not that. You know what I mean?
No, it's insane.
I think people are confused as to what being that light is, or I think that's the thing. I think people are like, but I must be super spiritual. I need to go there and pray for them.
No.
Just go there
pray
and
before the time.
Go for pray in your head. Great. But don't go there as if you're going to evangelize. Don't go there as if I'm going to go now and tell them, put that drink down. You don't know.
Yeah.
But be there for them when there's an issue. Be there, show them that you can have a party without having alcohol involved. Or
how many times it's happened where you are that guy, and even if they do kind of mock you a little bit and whatever, and you don't quite do what they do, but you hang out with them.
Yeah.
When the pawpaw hits the fan with them,
they phone you.
They phone you. They're not going to phone the other chummies because they don't have the answers.
Yeah.
You're different. You have the answer, and they know that.
That's the point, yeah.
And it's not that you, in your own strength, has the answer. You've been spending time with God. You're a light. You've got a light shining in you. You're trying to, put the flesh down and pick up your spiritual sonship and trying to walk in what God has for you. And that's why you have answers to life. Like, I don't know.
No, 100%. I mean, if we go back to the beginning as well with the conversation, also like it's one of the things I've believed for a long time now, that it's a good thing for pastors to have a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And not necessarily because they need the money or what more because they get. I found for myself as this is before I was a qualified pastor, but as a Christian, I would get very wrapped up in as you said, in that Holy Bible kind of thing. I mean, I was in leadership with kids and all these things, and we would get wrapped up in that, and I mean, it's very easy, very quick. But if you're seeing other people at work, and I mean, because it doesn't have to be the people you work with, it's clients, it's whatever, that balances that whole situation out, I think, and I think, for me, as I say, if I look at Paul, if I look at, what Jesus did, it's about making a difference in the world, which is what we call to.
Yeah, and it's not like they ran these big organizations.
No, obviously.
Because I feel like a lot of times these big organizations, in itself, being a pastor of a church will draw you away from God because it's so time consuming.
Running the church.
Running the church itself, So I feel like
it takes your time.
It's got to be. There's a pastor in America. They've got this thing, Dan Mohler, and Todd White and a whole bunch of them. They've got this saying, and I don't agree with everything they do, but they've got some really awesome points, and they've really found some really awesome things that God is doing in their life and people around them. But they've got the catch line, lifestyle Christianity.
Yes.
And that's what it's about to be.
Yes.
Like you got to be you got to be a walking, talking Christian who loves Jesus. You've got to be a son of God walking around you.
Exactly.
It's like I'm a candle maker. So people walk and they're like, so what do you do? So like, I make candles, and then I start telling them about my candles.
Yeah.
You should yourself be so transformed into the image of Jesus Christ that when people start asking you questions, or that when you just walk into an area, you don't try and preach to them. It's just who you are. They see it, and they
see the difference.
And I'll tell you something. People, all people are designed to recognize the truth. Some people, and Paul says this in Corinthians, to some it'll be a sweet smelling aroma to life. And to others it'll be like the smell of death.
Yeah.
That it just like repulses them. And that's the thing. I mean, some people don't want to have light in their life. They like all their darkness and their sin and all of that stuff. They don't want to get it exposed. Other people want that. They want the truth. They want to live in that peace and that joy and
sweet,
that absolute
sweet place.
And so when you walk into a place, I think what aroma, what vibe are you giving off? I think vibe is a very like new agey term, but it's
but it is
it's
because
used by the new age
again
people,
exactly. Again, going back to that the point of how do you actually do it? Well, you don't do it by, it's not that they just see this thing. They do it because you react to a situation in a different way. So I mean, let's use COVID as a thing. COVID has been a good and a bad thing for the church. It really has. And I mean, not only because it shut the church, but also because we have Christians who are freaking out and it's the end of the world and whatever the story is, and vaccine is terrible and we have others that are like, this is the, how do we as Christians react to COVID? How do we as Christians react to losing our business, to having a death in the family, to have, all these things that happen in life where other people are like, I mean, I was asked by a friend once, but like, you guys run this business or whatever, you don't make a lot of money, whatever, you survive, you're okay, we're not, what I mean, you're okay, you're financially stable, as Hendrik likes to point out.
Exactly.
But you're not trying to get rich or whatever, and when you say to them, but I don't feel like I'm called to be rich or whatever, well, why? Well, I feel like God wants me to do this and this and this and this. They're like, okay, well, cool. And then 6 months later, things are a bit tougher or whatever, but now it's got worse. And don't you think like God's, well, not really, because I still have hope, I still have the hope of God, I still have the hope of all these things. But how can you be so upbeat about this, Because that's exactly it. That's the difference, being upbeat about it. Understanding that when someone passes away, if they're a Christian, they're going to heaven, I mean, my neighbor passed away from COVID, and she's a Christian, and obviously we all are sinners and we all have questions and whatever, but she's a Christian. I know she went to go, she's with God. I know it. There's no chance, And people like, someone else asked me, but how can you be so? I'm not that I'm happy that she passed away at all. I mean,
but the reality is that
she's in a better place.
Right now, because like we all believe based on faith. Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith, and He does certain things in our life that put us on a path to believe in Him and to really trust in Him, and He meets us,
Yes.
With faith, we see things happen in our life.
Exactly.
But it's all faith. We are trusting that this feeling, this sensation of that this God is communicating to us in some way. When you die and you're a Christian, you go there and you see it.
It's happening there. Yeah.
It's like legit,
Yeah.
So.
I think it's important to have those things. And any pastors who are watching and who might not agree, that's fine. Comment.
Let us
send
know.
us an email. Get hold of us if you know us. Find us on
we
Facebook.
Actually, we would love to have a conversation.
Happy to chat about it. I just feel, for me personally, I just feel like there's an opportunity that is missed if you're not able to be in the world. If you are so heavenly bound, you know earthly good. You're missing the opportunity of what God's given us. And the main goal, because the main goal isn't the building. The main goal isn't the number of people in the congregation. Okay, yes, it is in terms of you've got to keep people. And my point is, when I get to 1,000 people, I'm happy with my church. No, that's not the goal. The goal should be when I get to 500 people, 5 churches get planted at 100 people each. And they build to 500 people churches and they plant. And there's, to me, that sounds like a good idea. And if you think about it, that's what Paul did. He didn't go and collect a whole bunch of Christians to convert people and start a big church in the Colosseum and said, listen, you Romans get out, this is ours now.
The real church of Jesus Christ.
He didn't do that. He started, and I mean, you'll see, you go and read in the letters and stuff, and you go and read where he talks about how the family or the brethren that are meeting in so-and-so's house, or this one's house, or that one's, family. That's what it's because he's traveling and he's meeting people. If you're stagnant in one place and you're not willing to change, you're not willing to move around, like allow things to happen in your life that will change where you are in position in life, then you're going to end up, I feel like you're going to end up looking back when you're 70 or 80 and going, I didn't actually do what his calling was.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got the car and the house, and what I'm talking about whether you're rich or not. Yes, I had a stable job every day, and yes, but I didn't allow, I was in church every Sunday, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was at all the group men's meeting, the leadership meeting, the youth meeting, this. But I was only working with Christians.
Yeah.
You
get so busy with the things of God that you forget about God Himself.
Yeah. Well, you miss the point. Let's say maybe you're not even that extreme. Let's say you're still in love with God. You miss what His number one goal is.
Yeah.
Go out to make disciples in the world.
Yeah.
Go out and make a difference. And there's.
And that's this traditional way of like going to someone and reading a tract to them and whatever.
Yeah, no.
I don't agree with it. It's so staged. Imagine Ford owners, Ford, which is hands down the best car company in the world.
Absolutely.
Imagine they went around walking around.
We're going to get in so much trouble for that.
Showing these cards. They walked around
and
said, like, hey, can I read you a thing about Ford? Like, it's the Ford is the best company in the world, whatever. Man, people will think they're crazy.
Yeah.
Even though it's a car company that everyone knows, whatever.
Yeah.
How much more the church? Now there's not even a bona fide car. There's not even a thing. It's a faith. It's a leap of faith. The thing is, when I've seen people convert, is when the Holy Spirit will tug on their heart,
100%,
and draw them in.
Yeah.
And that happens oftentimes when you share your testimony, when you spend time with people and you shine your light, when you tell truth.
Correct.
When people recognize that truth,
and that truth is not necessarily picking on their issues in life.
No.
That's the other thing. You'll think you tell truth. Okay, Henrik, listen here. You need to stop this and do that.
Yeah.
No, it's when they come to you and they say, "Why is this bad stuff happening?" Well, is it the bad stuff, that you crashed your car after you were drinking?
Yeah.
That's consequence. That's kind of more.
Yeah.
That's truth. What is the truth? Jesus loves you. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I understand that you're struggling right now, but He loves you.
Yeah.
He wants the best for you.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. There in James, when you said when you crash your car, it's the devil. In James, it says that you will get basically flogged for being a Christian, and it's not going to go well with you. You'll get persecution and stuff. And then it specifically says,
but
not the issues and the troubles that you bring on yourself through your own stupidity. It's
I don't think he uses the word stupidity, but yes.
I'm paraphrasing it, but it's like, it's the preaching of the gospel and direct persecution related to you furthering the kingdom of God. That is what the persecution is. So many people do dumb things. They drink and drive, crash their car, and they say the devil's attacking me.
The runner being attacked.
You spend your money because you go jolling or whatever. Oh, now I'm poor. The devil's stealing my finance.
Yeah, you're in trouble because you signed up another credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the devil.
No,
that's Absa Bank or no offense to Absa, whichever bank it might be.
Yeah. Are they the devil?
No. Whichever bank it might be that sold it to you. I heard of someone who got bought a house and then was offered a massive credit card. So they took a massive credit card.
Yeah.
Like massive, more than my car.
Yeah.
For a credit card. I'm like, that's lovely and all, but you got to pay that back.
I had that experience.
There's no ways that you could pay that back.
F&B, I love them, bless them, whatever. They came to me and they were like, listen, we see you good with banking. We want to upgrade you and upgrade you and upgrade you. And they kept stretching my limit. And then there were some quick business ideas and stuff. And I thought, I have the cash.
Yeah.
And it's basically if I just printed the money and just flushed it all down the drain. And I had to pay it back. And
you're not allowed to print your own money, brother. It's illegal.
Yeah, that is illegal. So don't tell them about the printer I have in the garage.
Okay, I won't.
But so the thing is, like, that was not the devil at all.
No.
In fact, God had made provisions to help my stupidity in His absolute mercy.
Yeah. But I think things like, for example, for me, I don't drink. I've said this before. I've never been drunk, never. Yes, I've had 2 beers at a bar, whatever. So by the law, I couldn't drive. So someone else drove. But I've never been drunk. I've never passed out. I've never thrown up. Nothing like that. I've never smoked. I've never done drugs. Anything like that.
So anything that you're not like that doesn't make it the full package. God knew.
My friends, maybe.
Okay, I don't know. There's something.
No, I'm joking.
Maybe I don't know. No. Maybe you put your standard so high, so that you won't settle.
Okay, 100%. But this is what I'm getting at. I feel like there've been many times in my life when, because I've been a Christian for so long as well, when I have stood alone, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't had people around because I wasn't willing to drink or party. And it wasn't that I said to them, I'm not drinking, so they said, go home. They just didn't invite me, you know. They knew I wasn't going to come. They knew that, or they, you know what I mean. They didn't. I fell out of the circle of friends quite quickly because, you know, for whatever the reason is. And it wasn't that I was preaching at all. It's just I wasn't going to do that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's at persecution, I think. I believe that's at
to a large
persecution.
extent. Yeah,
Because
100%.
that, I mean, I didn't do anything to them. I just didn't agree with what the world was saying.
Yeah.
I stood for what God
You
was
get
saying.
different
You know?
varying levels of persecution.
No, 100%. Obviously, I mean,
which-
obviously.
So that's definitely on the spectrum.
Yeah, obviously, if you're standing, you know, in Iraq and you're preaching, you're probably going to get stones thrown at you. You know, for 100%, and that is persecution. I'm not saying that isn't. I'm just saying.
I'm more saying like the like people I think oftentimes get persecuted and they don't realize that they're getting persecuted.
Yeah.
You know, they are trying to stand up and do the godly thing and be honorable, and they don't want to lie, they don't want to they want to keep their integrity, they want to be honest, and all of those things are godly things.
I don't give the devil credit for anything, but he plays. Or I mean, I don't know that I heard someone once say before. Someone said to them, "Oh, the devil's messing with me. He's really messing with me. You know, my car broke down." And the pastor was like, "Just want to clarify this. The devil is not omnipresent. He can't be.
So the devil, there's Satan himself.
There are all sorts of, not all sorts. Let's put it. There are a whole number of pastors who are converting thousands of people a day to Christianity, but the devil is here in PE, you know, picking on you with your car. Not necessarily. But for sure, when you start to stand up for something, there's going to be persecution against it. There's going to be oppression against it. When you say, I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to stop doing whatever I did, it's going to get worse. You know, I think of people, swearing is quite an easy one, because you think, people say, I'm going to stop swearing. You know, I really realized at work it's been tough, and now I've been swearing a lot. Let me tell you, that next month at work is horrible. Like, everything you think goes wrong, you know, your clients, you know, leave, you know what I mean, all these things happen. Opportunity where you will be swearing, you know, you stub your toe, your kid breaks the car window, you know, or, you know, throws a ball through the neighbour's window, you know.
Right, I love you, Dad, on the car door with the screwdriver or something. I saw a picture like that.
Yo, bro, I don't know about that kid then, eh?
I might, just.
Yeah, you might
try another one.
Return to sender. But you definitely will get that kind of opposition. But the only answer to that opposition is to stay the course. Stay the course. 100%. You know what? God always wins. We've won.
Go read the end of the book. We won.
Yeah, we've won. You know, so that as difficult as it may be, and it can be very. I mean, if you think of Job, however you want to say it, it's Job to me. Job is Job.
Yeah. Kerry Job is with an E at the end.
Exactly.
So anyway.
So Job, in my opinion, you know, summary of the story, you know, devil comes to God and says, listen, that guy's really like worships you, and he really is after your heart and whatever. Can't I test him? You know, basically, I'm paraphrasing and summing it up here. So go and read it.
In fact, I think God called the devil and said, "Look at my servant. Look at how amazing he is."
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said, "Look at how amazing Job is. He loves me and he serves me." And Satan was like, "No.
Let me
play.
The
second you take any of your blessings away, he'll curse you."
Because he was a blessed man.
Yeah.
You know, animals, land, family, all these things. And he lost. It's interesting, and I want to bring out another interesting little point on that. I don't know if I think I might have told you this before. Anyway, it's an interesting point that he loses those things. He loses his children, everything, you know, and he
Even
gets
his
sick.
wife.
No, he doesn't. That's the interesting point. Go and read it. His wife doesn't die.
No, she doesn't die, but
she gets sick in one of it.
She tells him, just curse God and die or whatever.
Well, his kids get killed, and I mean, but God was the one that this what is getting my piece of grass? An interesting point that I heard from another podcast. God said, "You may not kill Job," right?
Yes.
And so, in all that he did, he couldn't kill Job's wife either, because when man and woman get married, they are bonded as one. In God's eyes, they are one. Because he couldn't kill Job, he couldn't kill the wife. His kids were killed. He lost his kids, but he couldn't kill his wife.
Oh, that's crazy. Huh?
Interesting.
Oh, that's very, very,
very interesting. Anyway, the point is, you know, he stood up, and in the end, everything was returned to him. I think tenfold or something. He had like 3 times as many kids and whatever the story was. I don't know how old he was by the time of that.
I don't know.
So I don't know how you put up with that.
But the thing is, also one point that I got out of that story, and also something I wanted to say now, is that God spoke to him when he needed to. Like God knew how to get hold of Job, and I want to say that God knows how to get hold of you as well. Like you.
But I said it once when I preached, God is talking to you. We just not to us. We're just not listening.
100%.
He's talking all the time.
If I can say it, it's like a radio station.
Yeah.
You just got to tune in. You just got to hear what he has to say.
Exactly.
And sometimes he's just, sometimes he's saying like, just he loves you, he cares about you, and uphold integrity. Sometimes he gives you very specific instructions. Sometimes it's like the radio. Sometimes it's like someone speaking to you on the radio.
Yeah, two-way radio.
So so it's the thing is, in life, I think, to sum it up.
Yeah.
If you live a life that is honourable, if you live a life where you don't lie, where you don't cheat people, you're honest, you have integrity.
You do what God calls you.
You do the basics.
Yeah.
According to what the Bible asks you to do, then you are fulfilling your calling. And in that, you can be honest in work. You can You can have integrity in the workplace. You can have integrity in friend circles, in sports, in hunting, in doing whatever. And those things are the things that make you shine. Because often, like especially in an area where there's a lot of darkness and stuff, if you come in there and you trying to no I don't drink, but then they find out that you're this liar and you lie about everything and you're
stealing
money and whatever, then they're like, ah man, you're the same as us, we're not going to listen to you.
Are we back?
And we're back
from outer space.
Oh, sorry, the camera died there. But yeah, as I was saying, so this pastor, he was in this group, and this group of friends, they were businessmen, so they were not really always honest, and they would like to
sounds terrible.
a funny bottle, they like to drink, this pastor just kind of joined into that lifestyle, and it was sad to see, because when the Pope were the fan, no one ever went to him.
Yeah.
Because he's the same. He might even be a bigger phony, and I think that's what the Bible says. Like don't lose your salt, because salt, when salt loses its saltiness, it's good for nothing other than to throw it on the ground and to be trampled on.
Yeah.
And we are the salt of the earth, and we need to we need to be that. We need to, how can I say it? We need to be a light. We need to stand out. And show people like, hey, listen, there's hope. There's a.
Exactly. I think. Hendrik summing it up here, but if I can say not the other side. To sum it up, here's the practical. Go and do it.
Yeah.
If you find yourself in a place now where you are in a holy huddle, or you are, it's not about running away from that place, the huddle.
No, you have to stay tuned.
Stay there, 100%. But find other people. Go and play golf.
Yeah.
Go and
spread the fire.
Exactly. Go and join a whatever. I don't know, a band or whatever it might be. A hobby. Find a hobby that you can do. That you can find a space where you're getting balance in your life. If that makes sense.
And it's not bad to have fun. Like go have fun. Go have a joy.
Bad.
No, it's not bad.
I think it's fantastic.
Go have a jaw, man. Go hunt and go. As long as you are honest, you have integrity, you are living in the light. You are not, you're not cheating people or hurting people.
You will find those opportunities will not come at you. You'll realize all the opportunities that are in front of you when you're doing that, when you're having fun. Because I think when you're looking for the opportunity, you can't find it.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for, where can I make a difference in the world? No. Go and be in the world and make a difference.
Yes. Yeah.
I always laugh, or not laugh. I always think it's funny when people talk about Adam and Eve. Go look, Adam. When God said to Adam, He created them. He said, "Now go, live, and be fruitful."
Yeah.
He didn't say go out and wait for me to tell you what you can do this. Go and wait. Tell me whether you should buy a Ford or a Isuzu. Obviously, you should buy the Ford.
Yeah.
That's us telling you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean. He said, "Go and live and be fruitful."
Yeah.
Go and
find where because God places us somewhere in life. So take your environment and be a missionary to your environment. Be a missionary to the people around you, and not in the traditional sense where you Bible bash them. No. Just be a light, like we've been saying this whole time. Just be a light in that situation. Bible bashing doesn't work. It's like It's like what is it? Guilt and shame leads to repentance. Said no one ever.
Yeah.
The Bible says goodness and mercy leads to repentance.
Yeah. It's so funny because there's a guy in town. I won't mention his name. There's a guy in town who does a lot of Bible bashing.
Okay.
But
is he successful?
No.
Maybe in making people cry.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, he's successful getting punched and getting thrown out of places, and he honestly believes that that's persecution, and I mean, maybe in his mind it is, but he has this movement and this church, if I can put it that way. Yeah, I think the maximum I've ever heard of, I've known about him for years, he's been in town for years and years and years. I think the maximum people I've ever heard of in his little movement is like 10, maybe 15 people, and a lot of them pull out of it later. Because that doesn't work, that's it's not the way,
Yeah.
It's
If fire and brimstone and guilt and shame was the answer, Jesus would have done it.
Exactly.
And he didn't do it. Why did he not do it?
He
just loved people.
Is again it's another one where I might get in trouble for saying it, but I always love it when people scream and shout, or they come over and they pray and they, and I'm like, I don't recall. I mean, Jesus went and he threw the tables over. Yes, lost his biscuits about that. Generally, what did he do? He put his hand on them and said, "Your sins are forgiven. Be healed." Put his hand on their ear.
And oftentimes he didn't even say anything.
You know what I mean? Spat in the sand, put it on there. There you go. He didn't
that's kind of weird.
Run around, but my point is, he didn't run around shouting, and it wasn't that,
Yeah. He didn't draw attention to himself. I don't know. Just weird.
I don't know. So yeah. Be blessed.
Anyway, about that. God bless you guys.
100%.
If I think to final landing.
We fly helicopters at half hour a lot.
Walk in the light in the situation that you're at.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
I'm done.
Matthew 5 verse 16.
Yeah.
Go and be a light in the world.
Yeah.
That's what we're called to do.
100%.
Boom.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bless you. Have an awesome weekend.
Cool.
And we'll see you next Friday.
Cheers.